And that's what Andrew Tate tries to bring people attention to. That helplessness is becoming more of a thing, because the people that are wanting to promote this new idea of transacting, they have some ideas of how they would like you to do it. And I recently was at a place in Glasgow, a place called Topgolf. My son decided that he wanted to go there for his birthday. We went to the Topgolf place, booked it online, and great time, great place, really well set up. Staff were cool, place is cool, games were cool. Had a nice time. Ordered some food, some drinks, and big thumbs up. So as they do, bring you the bill at the end. He says, "Look, there's your bill." So opened it up. There's the receipt. Counted out the cash. Stuck it in the envelope. The wallet, kind of leather wallet that they bring. Put it in there. And as we were leaving, the waitress had come up and says, "You needing the card machine?" And I says, "No, I've left the cash." She says, "I'm afraid we don't accept cash." I said, "That seems strange." I says, why do you not accept cash? She says, "It's just policy." I says, "Well, the whole idea is that we have something called legal tender. And legal tender means that we agree to transact using this. And I'm afraid that you can't discriminate against one form or the other, even if that's your policy. Your policy can't overrule how we operate in this country. And your policy's doing that." And says, "I'm happy to speak to your manager." So the manager came along. And says, "Look, can you pay by card?" I says, "Why do you not accept cash?" Says, "Well, because you have, that's just a company policy." So I explained again. I says, "Look, you cannot discriminate against physical pounds against digital pounds." Says, "I'm happy to offer my legal tender. I'm happy to pay cash." And, that's company policy. And it might seem fickle that you go, "Well, just pay by card." It's like, well, what happens when the people that make your card decide that you can't or cannot spend money? Just like what happened to my friend. What happens when they go to your bank account and shut it down, or block it, or suspend it, or freeze your balance until some crazy regulations checked? And this is what Andrew Tate talks about. So is he right? I think he's very much in the ballpark. So back to Topgolf. The manager was obviously very dissatisfied that I wasn't budging. And I says, "Look, I will offer to agree to your payment method with your policy if you give me a letter on your letterhead explaining that I've explained to you that you're breaching some rules, that you stand by your position, that you're going to stand by your policy, and I want you to sign it. I want you to sign it with your name as a manager, as the person that's in charge here." He says, "I want you to sign that piece of paper. And if you do, then great. I'll go and speak to whoever made your policy and I'll have a chat with them. But I need it in writing from you that we've had this discussion and that you're standing by it." He wouldn't agree to do it. I says, "Okay." I says, "We have some rules in this country that legal tender means that you must accept this." So the Bills of Exchange Act in 1882 was a rule that's never been rescinded. It's an act that says that explains this whole piece. So you've brought me a bill, I've agreed to pay it, I've offered you legal tender, and you've refused it. And under the Bills of Exchange Act, you've refused the payment, not me. So the guy says, "Look, if you don't make the payment by card, I'm going to call the police." I says, "Well, call him, I'll wait." And I watched as he was dejected. I says, "Because I haven't refused payment, I've offered you legal tender, I've explained the legislation that you broke. I've explained that your policy might be a policy, but it doesn't actually fit within the rules that we have all agreed by, and that you haven't actually said that you'll put this in writing. So I'm quite happy with my position. And from where I stand, you're the one that's refusing payment because I've offered you in legal tender." And back to the Andrew Tate thing, is people might go, "Well, why not just, for the hassle, just don't pay by card?" Well, what happens when the people that have your currency, as in a central bank or a central bank digital currency or any banking institute, and they hit bump with a key and stop you being able to transact. And then you go to somewhere else where the only way to transact is with that electronic method. Then you have your choice removed. This isn't about, should you do one or the other. This is about giving us the choice. We should be able to choose what to do. And this is the thing that these guys like, central bank, some of the main guys in finance, Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David, Richard Werner, Professor Werner, they've all been telling us it for long enough. And I have questions frequently about, what do you think about this? This is what I recorded an episode 18 months ago, recorded an interview where we discussed this. The problem with these tools is that they seem benign, but later on they can become a problem. So I guess the overall point that I'm trying to get across to you is Andrew Tate right? And I think that whether you like it or not, whether you agree with his views on certain things is neither here nor there. That's up to you. He might have some controversial ones, but is he right about the financial piece? I think he's on the money. And the example in Topgolf, where you have these big businesses that are in lockstep with, you can only transact with the way that we decide, despite the rules. But we've decided that our policy trumps the rules. I'm afraid that's not going to work. And it's about becoming aware of those sort of tricks that are out there and to be mindful of it. You might pay by card. I've certainly paid by card. I don't have an issue with paying by card. What I do have issue with is removing my choice to be able to transact with different methods of payment. And Andrew Tate's piece was on overall that if you have only one way to transact with only one bank, which would be the central bank via the central bank digital currencies, then that means if you pop a tweet out that they don't like, or you pop out a post that they don't like, or even do a podcast like this where you're drawn to the attention that you maybe want to be mindful of this, you don't need to play along, because there is rules out there. Just because someone says it's a policy, just because someone says they'll phone the police, just because you stand your ground, you have the choice and you have the power.